Hey guys, it's Andrew, and today I'm gonna tell you about why I'm quitting cosplay, what I'll miss about it, and what I'm doing next. If you don't already know, I used to be a cosplayer, and I mostly cosplayed as Kirito from the anime Sword Art Online. For those of you that just came for a TLDR, I quit because it stopped being fun. But for those of you that want to know the whole story, this is why. But before I continue, consider liking this video and subscribing to this channel. There are more videos to come. So if you're a cosplayer, you already know this, but cosplay can get really expensive. I'm not putting down anyone that does like to spend a lot of their money on cosplay. I mean, there are people I'm friends with where cosplaying is their one and only hobby, and I support them 100%. The thing is, I have so many other hobbies too, and I was putting most of my extra money into the cosplay world, and I was neglecting other things like making music, building computers, buying video games, buying fancy cookware, making time to play video games, and more. So if you followed me on social media for a while, you'll know that I used to go to a lot of cons in cosplay. My typical year would consist of ALA, Bach Anime, SakuraCon, Anime Expo, and additional ones I went to depending on the year were SAC Anime, both winter and summer, Akiba Fest, NinjaCon, Kamikaze, LA Cosplay Con, PMX, Anime California, and more that I can't think of right now. I would fly to any con that wasn't at least a couple hours away from me in driving distance, so there was always a plane ticket fee. Then I would need to sometimes pay for a checked luggage so that I could bring my sword props. Then there was hotel and food. So doing that once in a while wouldn't have been bad, but I did it a lot. This shouldn't be a surprise since I was pretty open about this, but I didn't make most of the cosplays I wore. The majority of what I had was either bought online or commissioned through friends. If you make your own cosplays, you can save a lot of money, but if not, you could spend around $100 per cosplay and then another $100 per prop. Next is that it takes too much time. So this sort of ties in with all the cons I listed earlier, but most of my PTO throughout the year went towards conventions. That would be okay, but other things in life happen like weddings, funerals, and other family gatherings. So I would be put in some tough situations where I would have no PTO left since I'd planned it all out for my conventions for the year. And then I'd be invited to a wedding or something, and then I'd have to take some unpaid time off. So my friends always joke with me and say that I need beauty sleep. Lots of people can get by on little bits of sleep, but if I don't get my 8.5 hours of sleep every night, I'm honestly not really functioning 100%. Most cons happen on weekends, so I would typically come home from these cons on Sunday nights, and then I'd work from Monday to Friday and be completely exhausted the whole week. So don't get me wrong, I loved every minute of it when I was doing it. The exhaustion just eventually caught up to me and it sort of burnt me out. Next was Cosplay Drama. This happened both online and within my local cosplay scene. There were a lot of big egos. I won't lie to you when I say that a lot of us cosplayers love the attention we get from cosplaying, which isn't honestly a bad thing, but unfortunately some people get consumed by it and that changes them. I admit that to a degree I was sort of chasing cos fame for a little bit, but other people that I used to call friends got completely lost in it. I eventually stopped being active in my local SoCal cosplay scene and I just started to do my own thing. So with cosplaying, there's a lot of hard work involved. For most, the hard work is all worth it when you get those photos back from a photographer. For others, even just looking in the mirror at the complete cosplay just feels so good. I used to love doing photo shoots. Most cosplayers can probably relate when I say that we would do almost anything to get the perfect photo, and I used to be able to suck up the pain when holding those tough poses or dealing with the inconvenient weather because I was just excited about how the photos would turn out, but eventually I sort of lost that magic. I think even the pro cosplayers would agree with me on this. I think that my least favorite place to cosplay was at conventions. At conventions, there's a lot of walking around, standing in line, and being outside. When you're in an uncomfortable cosplay, it's just really hard to do all that. Like with photo shoots, it didn't really used to bother me because I was just so excited to be at conventions all dressed up, but eventually I sort of lost the magic in that regard too. Another thing is I think that I accomplished all my goals as a cosplayer. I started cosplaying for one reason, and it was a love for SAO. I never was into cosplaying as many characters as possible. When I did cosplay as other characters, it never was as fun. I wanted to represent SAO, meet other people that loved it as much as I did, and eventually form my own SAO cosplay group. And I think I did all that. I met the love of my life through cosplay, who cosplayed as Asuna with me so many times. I've made some friendships that will last a lifetime that I still hang out with outside of cosplay, and I somehow still have a community of fans and friends on social media that somehow care enough to read my long captions on whatever I post on Instagram and other social media. So one reason I don't see the need to cosplay anymore is that my SAO cosplay group is kinda done. I think the last time that I took a Kirito and Asuna couple photo was in 2017 in ordinal scale cosplays, and the last time I took some sort of group cosplay photo was in 2016 at Akiba Fest. People in my group have moved on to either stop cosplaying or to cosplay as other characters. Without my friends, it just isn't as fun anymore. So I just told you a lot of reasons on why I'm quitting, but that doesn't mean that the decision was easy. So I've been cosplaying since 2014, which isn't nearly as long as a lot of other people I know, but from 2014 to 2017, I really was 100% into cosplaying, and it kind of became my life for a while. Honestly, it's kind of been a little weird slowly stepping away from it. So these are some of the things that I'll really miss. So this is something I never really got tired of doing. I loved working at the SAO events, such as the big panels at Anime Expo and SakuraCon. Or the red carpet movie premieres for SAO Ordinal Scale. Late start! Not only did I get to meet the creative geniuses behind the novel, anime, the dub version of it, but I also got to feel like a leader in the SAO community, and I got to help share the love for SAO. It always felt so cool dressing up as Kirito, who's my favorite character out of any anime, and I definitely will miss sort of becoming Kirito when I put the cosplay on. So I hope that explains why and how I came to this decision. So what's next? I think that Instagram always will be my home to some extent, but I do plan on becoming a lot more active on YouTube. I believe that my next SAO related video is going to be the story on how my last AX as a cosplayer went. Then I'll do one on why I like SAO so much. Then the story of how I even got into cosplaying in the first place. And then so much more that I can't think of off the top of my head right now. Also, look out for some gameplay videos for games like SAO Hollow Fragment, and eventually all of the other SAO console games. I also will be racing people online in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, we'll be doing SAO-inspired challenges on The Sims, and I'll be playing Minecraft. If you guys have any other questions that I might have missed in this video, feel free to comment below, and I'll do my best to answer them all. Thanks, everyone!